Hi everybody, this is Rich Gibbons with SpeakInc, and today we are here with the energetic and inimitable Erin King. Erin, good to be with you.
Rich, thanks for having me.
Erin just killed it in this meeting room here. You had a long line of acolytes at the book signing table, and
Oh gosh.
everybody really enjoyed it.
Well, thanks for bringing me in. It was a great time, fun crowd, and I think people are just really excited to not be on Zoom calls anymore and being together in person. So
no doubt. Now, how would you? What would be your byline? Author of Digital Persuasion. You come out of a pedigree of running a social media branding and marketing agency.
Yep, spent 10 years running the world's only social media agency focused strictly on live events specifically. So we have run everything from the Oscars in Hollywood to the United States Navy, Fashion Week, you name it. We have tweeted it. And prior to that, I had two companies. I was the CEO of a company called PMS.com, which was supposed to be a dollar shave club for women's healthcare monthly needs, and also Jump Digital Media. So I have a big background in digital media, and now I write books, and I get to show up and serve audiences with a couple of the lessons, a couple of the nuggets that I've learned from a lot of failure, a lot of hard work, and that's what we talked about today.
Exactly. So there was a lot to like about Erin's session. I mean, you had so many people talking about how much they got out of it, but I think one of the things that really, like, just touching on what you were saying there, that you have a few battle scars in the marketing arena, and another thing that I think just had the audience sort of embracing you and your persona and your profile was how much self-deprecating content you had. Like you're just very human, and told about some of these initiatives that maybe didn't pan out like you thought they were.
Yeah. You know, I talk about digital communication, and so I'm constantly focused on how can we optimize how we show up online so that it's influential and that it's persuasive. And part of that is using the word that you just used, human. And so a big piece of what we're seeing right now, particularly post-pandemic, we've all spent a lot more time on the interwebs than we would like to. There's a lot of perfection fatigue going on.
Right.
Everyone's triple filtered, everyone's perfectly
edited. I can't
edited.
keep this up. I'm exhausted.
Yeah, so I think that transcends the screen into our meetings, into our events. People don't necessarily still want to hear the everything's always been perfect story. And so I try to unpack, peel back the layers, keep it real, and just share what I know. And that's what we did today, so it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, and you hear that a lot, but it was a lot of fun. This was really fun because another thing that I loved about how you sort of vacillated between, hey, here's some sort of granular, gritty content that you can actually use, but then you were doing accents and telling funny stories, and it was super entertaining. There was a lot of genuine laughter in the room, and that creates energy that you feed off. And God, we've missed that with Zoom, because when you're talking to that stupid little green light, you don't get the feedback.
Totally. I mean, things have been heavy for a while, and I think that as we go through different seasons, as event marketers, as bureau owners, as professional speakers, entrepreneurs, we're all just sort of in a season right now where light feels good. I mean, actionable content, yes. Strategies, yes. But light and laughter are medicines that we are all looking for more of. So I was honored to be able to bring some of that to this event, hopefully.
Yeah, well, you definitely did. One closing thought, the one piece that Erin unpacked that I thought was really sort of insightful, in particular for a group of corporate event marketing people, is how culture is defined within a group. And you talked about the water cooler, the office chats, that when everybody's at home with the pandemic, you lose that. And that as we're coming back to a quasi more normalized work life, not everybody's going to be in the office 5 days a week.
Right.
So events are becoming a bit more about how companies define their culture and figure out, go through that discovery process of who are we and what are we all about.
That's right. That was my biggest insight from doing 5 live events in the last couple of weeks. I was driving back from Vegas, I told you the story, after speaking at the National Speakers Association, which was a interesting first gig back after talking to yourself and laughing at your own jokes for 18 months. Right. So that was trial by fire, but it was great. But that was kind of my realization. I was driving back and I thought, Well, gosh, these events we've worked in, they've always been sort of a supplement. They've been a booster to
Right.
the existing corporate culture. But
Right.
now, where do we collaborate? Where do we communicate?
They're a
It's
little
either
bit-
Zoom or it's these events. And so there's this new responsibility that I think we all have to embrace, that we're no longer just boosting corporate culture, we're becoming
Right.
corporate culture and
Right.
defining it, which is both challenging and exciting.
Right, and to your point, when you're on the platform, it's a bit daunting that the implications of putting on an event and how that is executed and how people connect and collaborate. There's a bit more on the line than there used to be.
Yes, and I believe that the nature of the events industry has always been connection and collaboration. And when everyone is so siloed, when we are working remotely, it does feel like a tall order, but it also just feels like doubling down on what we all already do so well. It's just doubling down on the magic of in-person. And we talked about in my keynote that we're 34 times more persuasive face-to-face than we are behind screens. I mean, that has never been more important. And we've always known it, but now I think at scale, people are really going to understand what it is that we do, that we're so much more than parties and a good time and handshakes. I mean, we really are, I think, the future of work.
Exactly. Well, for those of you out on the inner tubes that are looking for something compelling, energetic, absolutely hilarious on just, I mean, the messaging and the sort of the thought leadership and your authorship is applicable to, it almost trivializes the sweep of it to say, oh, it's applicable here. It's applicable to a lot of walks of life, professions, silos of expertise. It's very, very universal, and it's delivered with panache, physical comedy. I mean, it was really, really good. So
Thanks, Rich.
thank you for
Thank
doing an amazing
you.
job,
Thanks for
and
having me.
we will see you soon.